Welcome. We're about to dive into a truly radical idea from the Zohar. What if the universe isn't some cold, indifferent machine? What if it's actually a living, feeling being that suffers and hopes right along with us? Today, we are going deep, deep inside the cosmic structure that makes this all possible, the Palace of Love.
All right, so here's the roadmap for our journey. We're going to start with this big problem of cosmic suffering, and then we'll look at the actual blueprint of reality to see where things kind of went wrong. We'll meet the divine presence who actually chose to go into exile with us, and then we get to the core of it all, this incredible sympathetic network that responds to our pain. And finally, we'll see how we, yes, you and I, can actually participate in repairing the world, and what the ultimate goal of all of this, the great reunification, really means. So we have to start with a question that has echoed through all of human history, and honestly, it feels more relevant now than ever. In a world that is so full of pain, so much brokenness and exile, where is the divine in all of this? Now, the Zohar faces this crisis head-on. It doesn't offer any easy, pat answers. Instead, it just paints this staggering picture of a universe in deep, profound mourning. You see, the destruction isn't just some historical event that happened down here on Earth. It's a full-blown cosmic catastrophe. The divine reality isn't distant and unaffected. No, it's so deeply wounded that the text says it ascended high, high above, almost like it's recoiling in shock and grief. The very fabric of creation, the heavens, the earth, the sun, the moon, they literally dimmed their light in sorrow. And this isn't just a human tragedy. Not even close. The Zohar quotes the prophet Isaiah to describe the highest order of angels, the Arlim, crying out in the streets, outside the palace gates. I mean, just picture that. The most powerful spiritual beings, the valiant ones, weeping openly because the connection between the divine and the world has been so violently severed. This right here sets up the core idea. Our pain is felt across all dimensions of existence. Okay, so if the cosmos can feel our pain, why is there pain to begin with? It's a fair question. To understand that, we have to look at the blueprint of reality itself. And what we find is that the brokenness we all experience, well, it isn't an accident. It's more like a bug in the original code, something present from the very beginning. Now, when you see a diagram of the Sephirot, please don't think of it as just a static flow chart. You have to imagine it as a living, breathing, divine nervous system. It is the architecture of everything, from the laws of physics all the way down to the structure of our own consciousness. These 10 forces, things like love, judgment, harmony, endurance, they are literally the building blocks of everything that is. And here it is. Here's the flaw in the foundation. In the very first moments of creation, as this infinite divine light was pouring into the structure of the Sephirot, the initial vessels they couldn't handle the intensity. The whole system overloaded, the vessels shattered. This is the mystical Big Bang of brokenness. It's the cosmic root of all conflicts, all evil, all suffering, and all exile and existence. Our world is literally built upon the fragments of a prior, shattered reality. So here's the crucial point. Scattered all throughout our physical world are these holy sparks of that original divine light, and they're now trapped inside the shards of those shattered vessels. What that means is that our own personal and collective experience of feeling broken or exiled is a direct reflection of this cosmic state. The entire universe, from its very beginning, is on a mission of repair, what Kabbalah calls tikkun, the process of gathering up all these lost sparks to make things whole again. And now we get to meet the hero of this cosmic drama. Because when creation shattered and fell into this state of exile, one aspect of the divine chose not to just stay up in the heights of perfection. It chose to descend, to go into exile with us. This is the Shekinah, the divine feminine, the immanent, indwelling presence of God that you can actually feel in the world around you. The Zohar teaches that when the Jewish people went into exile, the Shekinah went with them. She's not some remote queen safe in her palace. No, she's a mother who refuses to abandon her children, choosing to suffer right alongside them, to feel what they feel, to be with them in their darkness. And this just brilliantly illustrates the core doctrine of this entire worldview, radical cosmic empathy. This verse, when you see it through the lens of the Zohar, is one of the most powerful statements in all of mysticism. It means the divine is not immune to our pain. Our suffering isn't just observed from a distance. It's felt, viscerally, at the very core of reality. There is a part of God that is in pain when we are in pain.
Okay, so this brings us to the very heart of our exploration today, this sixth palace, known in the Zohar as the Heichal Hasidim, the Palace of the Pious, or really the Palace of Love. This is the control center, the nexus point where this cosmic sympathy is engineered and activated. So how does it actually work?
This is where it gets really fun, because we can use some modern analogies to understand the sheer brilliance of this ancient system. So for the adults, let's think in terms of cosmic engineering. The universe is a divine, distributed network. Human souls, especially those of the pious, the chasidim, are like privileged nodes, hardwired into the core server through love-based protocols. When they suffer, it sends a high-priority interrupt request, a distress signal that pings the entire system. And this instantly activates the root servers, the patriarchs, who flood the network with stabilizing energy, like love, discipline, and harmony. The goal? Tikkun, a complete system repair and defragmentation. Now for the kids, or, the kid in all of us, let's imagine a massive online co-op game called World of Tikkun. The game world was damaged by a cosmic virus. That was the shattering of the vessels. All the players, our souls, are on a quest to repair the world. When any player gets into deep trouble, their distress signal automatically triggers the game's greatest, most legendary hero NPCs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They instantly warp in to send aid, buffs, and protection. And the main quest for everyone? To find and restore the Queen of Light, the Shekinah, and reunite her with the King, which will finally heal the world and unlock the final level, Eden.
So let's try to visualize this palace for a second. The Zohar describes this vast, radiant space just overflowing with a warm golden light. This is the light of Tzed, of pure, expansive love, and it's flowing like rivers. At the gates stand these archetypal figures, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the 12 tribes, and the Shekinah herself, alive with emotion. When that distress signal of suffering from below reaches this palace, the text says that waves of trembling compassion ripple through the entire structure. The golden light intensifies, and all of these figures stir in a perfectly unified, living response. It's a symphony of empathy.
So how is this response modulated? Well, it happens through the Sephirot. Think of it like this. The response kicks off with Chesed, that golden light of pure, limitless love. But pure love can be overwhelming, right? So it's balanced by Gevurah, or discipline, which contains and directs that love to make it effective. At the center of it all is Tiferet, or harmony, which perfectly balances love and discipline into a focused compassion. Netzach and Had makes sure this flow is constant and enduring, while Yesod acts as the conduit, funneling these energies down to our world. And finally, Malkut, the Shekinah. She is the one who receives this perfectly balanced, compassionate energy and directs it right where it's needed most.
And the patriarchs are described in Kabbalah as the divine Merkabah, the holy chariot. What this means is that they aren't just historical figures we remember. They are living, foundational archetypes of the cosmos. They are the very vehicle through which the core emotional attributes of the divine operate. Abraham is the Chesed protocol, the embodiment of pure loving kindness. When the network needs an outpouring of love, he's activated. Isaac is the Gevurah protocol, channeling structured discipline and justice. And Jacob, who contains elements of both, is the Tiferet protocol, the central harmonizing force that balances everything. They are the root nodes, the first responders in this cosmic network of compassion. Right, so here is the crucial point. This is not a passive system where we just sit back and wait for some divine response. The network is specifically designed to be influenced, activated, and even repaired by our actions from below. We are not just users, we are co-developers in this whole thing. And how do we do it? It starts with kavanah, pure intention, where we focus our consciousness on a divine purpose. And then it's through mitzvah, physical action in this world, an act of kindness, a moment of deep prayer, studying sacred texts. The Zohar teaches that these are not just symbolic gestures or little petitions. They are functional inputs into the cosmic system. It's like we're sending repair scripts up the network. These actions actively mend the broken pathways. They find and elevate those trapped sparks of divine light, and they strengthen the bond between the Shekinah and her exile and the upper worlds, giving her the energy she needs to continue her work. The Zohar gives this absolutely beautiful example of this partnership. It says that when a person wakes up in the middle of the night to study Torah, the Shekinah herself comes and studies with them. They become her companion in the darkness of exile. And their words, the new insights they discover, ascend to the highest throne, where the divine king himself writes them in a celestial book. This just shows that your learning, your positive actions, they have a direct, tangible effect. You are actively weaving yourself into the very fabric of divine communion and cosmic repair.
So, where is all this leading? What is the ultimate goal of this vast, sympathetic system that we are all a part of?
The endgame is Geula, or redemption. But in Kabbalah, this isn't just a political event or the return of a people to their land. Oh no, it is the final act of the cosmic drama. It's the complete healing of that primordial wound caused by the shattering of the vessels. It is the great reunification of all the separate parts of the divine that were scattered and separated at the very dawn of time. What we're talking about here is a vision of a future where the system is fully repaired, it's defragmented, and it's running on a new, perfected operating system. It is the end of exile, not just for humanity, but for the Shekinah herself, who can finally return from her long, long journey and reunite with the transcendent aspect of the divine. It's the creation of a reality where the divine presence is no longer hidden or in exile, but is fully and openly revealed everywhere in everything all the time, a universe in a state of perfect resonant wholeness. And so this ancient mystical vision of a sympathetic cosmos doesn't just leave us with a fascinating model of reality. It leaves us with a profound and, frankly, deeply empowering question. If the universe truly is a living network that feels and responds, if every single thought, word, and action sends a ripple through this cosmic web, what kind of signal are you transmitting today? Is it a signal of healing, of compassion, of repair? Or is it a signal that just adds to the static and the brokenness? The choice, this vision tells us, is ours. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.